the Meghan show. It's the Meghan show. It's the Meghan show. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah. Kisses to all of you. Thank you for coming to the Meghan show. I got some butterflies. I thought I would. Anyway. Welcome to the Meghan show, guys. Listen, my mom and sister want to thank you guys once again personally for the kind thoughts and words and just the overwhelming response to that one video. It was dark. You couldn't see. I was talking too much and really wanted you guys to hear from them. So I think I'm going to do things a lot differenter so you can get a little bit more perspective from someone else other than me. I'm maybe going to do my husband one day. But now that I have StreamYard, I'm going to have my sister connect too. That way we can all be on here together, and we're going to start doing lives too. And I want to thank Patricia and Raquel for my tip jar. Kisses to all of you. And those that say kind and sweet things to me, kisses to you, and thank you for my new subscribers. I see you. Okay, so this video is going to be on Popcorn Planet. He is talking to Samantha Marco, which is Meghan's sister. He's talking to her lawyer. He's explaining to us. He's explaining to us a little bit about who Meghan is, and a little bit of it. He's what he's doing. He's analyzing Meghan, and I think that's better than talking about the legal stuff. But let's get into it. I had wrote down some notes, and I decided let's just do it together. So just a second. Okay, so before we get to Samantha, let's do this video first. Here we go.
Meghan Markle is scrambling for work as firms are turning their backs on the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, according to a PR expert. The couple signed several lucrative deals after they stepped down as working members of the royal family in 2020. However, last year, Meghan and Harry's Spotify deal was cancelled after their podcast left executives underwhelmed. PR expert Mark Borkowski has claimed the content that the Sussexes want to produce is not what firms are looking for.
Basically, they're saying that she was a failure, a loser in 2024. We already discussed that. But she has no work. They're scrambling for work. They're scrambling for deals and people to come knock on their door and say, listen, we want you to do this for us. No one's doing that because they're afraid that if Meghan touches their brand, it will turn to dust. Because the tea commercial, even though it's hers, or coffee commercial or ad that she was disgracing herself in, it does look disgraceful. It does. She's the Duchess of Sussex. She's supposed to be royalty. She's supposed to be having it going on. She's supposed to be walking around like Catherine. She's not. She has put herself in a bad situation, and I don't feel sorry for her yet because she hasn't come out and done an interview apologizing. They don't have any deals. They don't have any work. No one's knocking down their door. We know that, right?
Borkowski said, if you're appearing on red carpets and premieres, that means you're putting yourself on show for the type of people who might cast you, book you, use you.
All those red carpet events, the one that she recently went to, and the aide told her the aide told her to get off, move around. I heard that was the aide, and the aide is no longer working for her. That's word on the street. Now, these red carpet events and these charity events is putting her out there so that people can notice her. That's why she's doing the pap walk. That's why she's doing all this stuff. Because WME said, listen, you got to get out there and get your face out there. And now that her face is out there, no one wants to attach their brand to her. The only thing she's going to be able to get is like Bath, Bed, and Beyond kind of stuff. You know, lotions and tea. She's not going to be able to do anything substantial and wear Dior. Because no one wants her. No one wants someone that treats their family like that. No one wants that treats their countrymen like that. Their family and the royals. No one wants someone that's a trasher. Meghan got on the Oprah show and left no one unturned. She went after every person she thought of. And we're going to talk about that later. Because I want to talk about the Samantha element and Ashley. And word on the street is Ashley has been ghosted by Meghan. I told you Meghan she's just going to use you. Meghan used Ashley against her mother and made that relationship worse, or made that relationship not repairable between her mother and her daughter. But I believe Samantha is a forgiving person and would love to talk to her daughter. But I'm sure her daughter has found out who Meghan really is, because she hasn't been over Meghan's Montecito house. We haven't seen her since the docuseries. She doesn't hang around with Ashley, and the lawyer is going to explain to us how she ghosted. She's a sociopath. It's good. It's going to be good. We're going to work it. Okay? Let's move on.
That's what Meghan's been about. He continued,
Herself.
Netflix hasn't really worked. Spotify hasn't really worked.
Uh-oh.
And that is because the sort of content that they feel they want to produce, the platforms don't believe has any value.
Woo! The platform doesn't have any value. They believe that... Let me just let you hear it again.
On show for the type of people who might cast you, book you, use you. That's what Meghan's been about. He continued, Netflix hasn't really worked. Spotify hasn't really worked. And that is because the sort of content that they feel they want to produce, the platforms don't believe has any value.
It doesn't have any value. The value that she had is that she was attached to the royal family, that she had connections, that she was connected, that she was in with the crowd. Now that she has kicked herself out of the crowd and alienated herself from the royal family, no one in Hollywood wants to know what Meghan is doing. We're not interested in Dior. We're interested in the royal family. We're interested in how you continue to have a relationship with your in-laws, the powerful ones, the ones that we really want to see. What made her so great, and I know I say this a lot, what made her so great to us was that we were now connected to the royalty. The Americans were now in with the royals because Meghan was an American. But then she got over there acting stupid, and now we don't want to have nothing now we want to be like, no, she don't represent us. She doesn't represent us, okay? And I'm sorry, but Meghan's bottom part looked like SpongeBob. And if I call her SpongeBob, it's because of that. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude. I don't want to call nobody no names. But her shape looks like SpongeBob. It's square. Moving on. She has managed to kick herself out of her money-making machine. She has managed to kick herself out of the royal dynasty, out of the thing that made her so awesome to all. Yeah, I hurt my finger. I got my daughter's Band-Aids on, so it cut in the middle. You know, when you get your nails done and you hit something and it cut, you know. Meghan has managed to alienate herself. It's so bad. I can't even express it enough that she is no longer a person of interest. Hollywood don't want her. Spotify is about to spit her out, and WME is not able to brand her the way that she needs to be branded because of her own psychopathic behaviors. She has no empathy. She doesn't feel anything for anyone. Because if you felt something for someone, anyone, then you wouldn't have so many people that you attack. It's not just the royal family that she attacked. She attacked the whole UK. She attacks the press. She attacks her bosses. She attacks her friends, Harry's friends. She attacks her own personal family. She said that they were classless. That's okay. We're going to get to it.
It comes as a royal commentator claimed Meghan Markle is desperate for endorsements after losing her deal
Desperate.
with Spotify. The Duchess of Sussex has been linked with several luxury fashion brands.
Desperate. When you get desperate, you start doing stupid stuff and just try to do what you can. You get desperate. She's desperate. She's calling those old people back that was trying to collaborate with her in the beginning. I'm just going to make a name up. Louis Vuitton said that this is not for sure. This is an example. Louis Vuitton calls her up in the beginning and says, Meghan, but you be the brand of Louis Vuitton. We'll pay you a couple of $1 million. And Meghan says, no, that's not enough money. Come back with the contract. I'm worth more. And now she's picking up the phone, calling Louis Vuitton, and Louis Vuitton ain't even answering the phone. They're like, oh, no, we good. They dodged a bullet. Those brands that didn't pay her millions in the beginning, that she turned down because she didn't think that they were paying her enough, I know that. They don't want her. So she can't go back in her Rolodex or her phone and check those numbers and see if they're still available. Because if they are, the amount has went down. She's probably calling them and they saying, oh, Meghan, remember a couple of years ago when you wanted me to be the face of Louis Vuitton? And they were like, yeah, but we don't need your services anymore. Well, I have something I want to give to you. I really want you guys to consider me. Well, okay, well, how much are you talking about? Well, you offered me $2 million, maybe $1.5 million. No, I'm sorry. And we don't, at this time, we won't be working with you. They're not going to work with her. They don't want their brand tainted. They don't want their brand to go under because she's the face. Now they run the risk of losing other people if she is being branded by a big company. If Meghan had all these deals going on, she would be the first to tell us because she just wants us to know that she's doing all this stuff and that everything is peachy keen and nothing is going wrong. That their divorce is on the rise. I believe the veggie lady. What's her name? The Mystic Veggie. Now, she exists. She's a real, well, of course she exists. She's a real person. But she's had her business for a very long time. I looked her up to see. But I think one of you said the veggie lady could stick it. And I just couldn't stop laughing. I've been laughing about that for 2 or 3 days now. I really enjoyed that segment because it was beautiful. Anyway, let's move on.
Including Dior, but a deal has
Dior. What?
The platforms don't believe has any value.
The platform has any value. Your brand doesn't have a value. Nothing you have is a value. Of value. Your net worth. What you're worth. Listen, I'm happy where I'm at. But I'm happy in a sense that, I'm going to do what I need to do in 2024. But what I'm saying is that she's a failure. She's a loser. And these are the reasons why. Her brand isn't strong enough to be able to make money. Her brand isn't strong enough to make money. And the reason why I talk about this so much is because that's what Meghan is about. When my sister asked me, well, what does she want? I'm talking about it every day, what she wants. But she can't get it. She can't get it, and she's feeling the heat. She's feeling the heat behind it. The heat. She was a failure in 2023. She's been failing since the Oprah show. She's been failing since she continues to talk about people other than no reason but to trash them and to bring them down and have the Sussex squad go after her. I want to ask the Sussex squad this. How do you feel defending her and getting mad at us because we're telling our side of her story?
It comes as a royal commentator claimed Meghan Markle is desperate for endorsements after losing her deal with Spotify.
Desperate. Thanks, honey. Maybe put it on the trolls. I ain't got much time, y'all. I don't have much time. Well, desperate. I don't know what she's going to try to do, but she's going to have to fix the family element. She's going to have to fix this. She's going to have to fix that. When South Park went inside and looked down up in there and went none up in there. My sister said, she said, oh my God, I was using improper words. I said, I want you to be yourself. I want you to talk about how we will be just hanging out together. Don't worry about how you're going to speak. I like to talk to you guys as if you're your family, your friends, like just regular. I don't want to have to pretend like I'm at work. And you know how you're a little bit more, anyway, forget it. Who cares? And I'm not going to play with my hair. And I do apologize for playing with it last time because I was annoyed.
The Duchess of Sussex has been linked with several luxury fashion brands, including Dior, but a deal has not been struck. Royal author Tom Bower told Closer that Meghan is working hard to land a contract with a major brand. Bower said,
she's working hard. I'm not saying that she won't get something. I'm not saying that, but it's going to be very difficult. But if they're not careful, their brand that's trying to brand her or do anything for her, then the only thing Meghan has is being on a reality TV show. That's it. That's all they're going to be for her. What's her name? Kinsley thinks that she's going to be an influencer. That's the only thing she has. She can't influence a fly to come in a house and eat some cheese. Okay? That's not going to work because Meghan talks about herself all the time. Every word in her vocabulary is I, me, and all me. I've never seen such a self-centered, selfie, self-it-all, self person as much as she is. She talks about herself when she's having a conversation with anyone. How she did this, how she's this, and how she's that. No, what we wanted to hear how your wedding went. How you planned for it, how you got ready for your big day and how nervous you was. No, instead, we got a whole bunch of crapola from Oprah and Spare and Docu.
Meghan has made huge efforts. She does look amazingly good at the moment and is clearly working hard at it. I think she's looking desperately for an endorsement with something like Dior, and that's been a disappointment because she hasn't landed one contract. However, an insider close to Dior dismissed.
What's interesting is there's so many brands out there that she can get onto. Why is it so difficult for her to pick a brand? There's like billions of them. And so why is it so difficult? Ask yourself, why can't she get a job? Why isn't anyone knocking down her door? Where is the deals? Where is her big Hollywood comeback? Meghan lied to us. She said that she wasn't coming over here to do Hollywood. Where is she? Where's Meghan? Meghan, aren't you in Hollywood? But that's not what you wanted to do, but that's where you're at. And look how hard she's pushing for this. Go back to my video 6 months, 7 months, and I always say this. I used to talk about her brand so much, I had to stop talking about it. Because I said, my subscribers are probably sick of me talking about Meghan and her brand. That's all she's about. That's all she has. That's why she came to America. That's why she degraded herself and stepped down after being Your Royal Highness to Meghan Other. She doesn't have a talent. She can't sing, she can't act, she can't dance, she's not funny. She doesn't have what it takes for Hollywood to brand her. She doesn't have it. And so what she could have done was had a great relationship with her relatives and then talk about it in a way that would be interesting to us. I remember when I was in a castle, something like this. I was in a Frogmore cottage and Elizabeth called me and she was just checking on me, wondering, was I okay? And I just felt like that was just so sweet. Instead of this, they're not going to get the titles and we're not going to get security and they're racist. No one wants to hear that. But she messed up. Meghan has messed up so bad. And I know she's messed up because my mom sees it. Because it took me a minute to get my mom to really actually see, because my mom was like, Team Meghan.
Reports that talks with Meghan Markle took place. A source told The Telegraph, the Duchess of Sussex is not in talks to sign a deal with Dior. There is no truth to the claims that she will partner with the French fashion house.
Okay, so we're moving on. We're gonna go do the Popcorn Planet, and I hope he doesn't mind me using his video for this. Hold on.
Defamation case by her own sister, Samantha.
So I'm gonna be fast forwarding it on some of it because it's 20 minutes long, and so I really want to get to the end because he starts talking about what I want to talk about. But I want you to get to the introduction. So here we go.
Meghan Markle is in some serious legal jeopardy, facing a defamation case by her own sister, Samantha Markle. We have Samantha's attorney, Peter Tickton, here. This is The Interview. In the courtroom, as you were facing the judge, regarding this of whether this case will continue, and obviously we are still waiting on the judge's verdict, but I'll be honest, I said this to you as we spoke afterwards. I was worried because I know these defamation cases are hard, and I went in, a little skeptical, but I heard you in that courtroom and I was just blown away by what you were presenting, and I thought, you know what, the audience needs to hear this. So I'm glad you're here. With your permission, I'd like to go through some of these statements that Meghan has said in these clips, and I'd love for you to give some of that passion and facts behind why Samantha was defamed. Are you ready for that?
Sure.
I love it. All right, I want to get into it, because I know overall, I guess give us your overall spiel here. Like, what's the...
It was important to Meghan Markle to...
Yeah, and that's a big point we're going to get to, because Samantha was promoting this book, and it was clear Meghan
Let me just let you listen
out
to
there.
it.
All the different things that she said. Well, it's
Well,
more
just overall, like,
it's cumulative.
Meghan, you feel lied and defamed her in these Oprah and Netflix interviews. That's where you're primarily focusing, correct?
Yeah, well, the thing is, Samantha's book had come out, and I'm sure that the Duchess had never read her book, because it really wasn't even defamatory, or it wasn't, denigrating her. Didn't hurt her. But the fact is that just knowing that book was out there, it was important to Meghan Markle to...
Yeah, and that's a big point we're going to get to, because Samantha was promoting this book, and it was clear Meghan didn't want this book out there or getting any headway. Let's start with...
Let's talk about this. So Samantha writes a book, and Meghan gets on the Oprah show and disses it. But that's your sister. Here's the thing. Meghan likes to talk about what Catherine did to her. She wasn't there for me when I was going through with my father. She wasn't really a caring sister-in-law. That's how she tries to portray Catherine toward their relationship. Okay? But it's okay, Meghan, for you to get on national TV and tell all of us that you never had a sister when you do have one. How do you think she felt? You didn't care how she felt because it was about you. You have no empathy. Let's continue.
With the Oprah interview, because
Samantha wrote a book, and it didn't do as good. And I should buy it just to give her some support. But Meghan and Oprah discusses the book on the Oprah show. And Meghan disses it. Let's go.
This is a sort of an integral part where Samantha is officially brought up.
Samantha Markle, your half-sister on your father's side, has written a supposedly tell-all book about you. What is your relationship with her?
I think it'd be very hard to tell all when you don't know me.
Okay, so I didn't know that Samantha wrote a book about Meghan. Is that true? Let me know in the comments, guys. Did Samantha write a book about Meghan? Because Meghan calls it Pushy Princess. Was that the name of the book? Now, I think if she had wrote that book, Pushy Princess, I think I would have been a little pissed off too. But I thought that Samantha was writing a book about herself. So I'm going to assume right now that the book was about Samantha. And also about her relationship with her sister that she did have. Because Meghan lying to us and telling us that she didn't even know her, as if they didn't even never met. That's how Meghan that's where she puts Samantha. But why would you trash your sister on the national stage knowing that you're globally known now because you married a prince? Why would you want to deliberately do that to your sister? Defame her. This is where that defamation lawsuit is coming from. Let me rewind
a supposedly tell-all book about you. What is your relationship with her?
I think it'd be very hard to tell all when you don't know me. And I...
It's hard to tell all when you don't know me. Okay. We could say the same thing about you when you was over there at the Royal House and you didn't know any of them, but you came back over here telling us all kinds of lies on the royal family as if you knew them. You didn't know King Charles. You didn't know Elizabeth. You didn't know Philip. You didn't know William. And you didn't know Catherine. You didn't know anyone because you didn't take the time out to get to know your in-laws. And then when you decided, listen, I'm not going to talk to her. When she decided that it was time to come over here and talk about them, she acted like she knew so much about these people that she started talking about them on the Oprah show, the docuseries, and the book. So you were only over there for 15 minutes before you decided to come over here for your freedom ride. And then when you get over here, you start talking about the royals as if you've known them all your life. As if you've been in the institution forever. As if you knew everything there was to know about your family, your extended family member from your husbands. But you knew them. But you talk about your sister like you didn't know her. I didn't even know who she was. But you talk about William and Catherine. This is what I want you guys to get out of this. Is that how are you talking about something that you know nothing about? You don't know the royals because you wasn't over there long enough to get to know them. You don't know the UK people or the culture and all of that because you got on the docuseries and dissed it and started talking about it. But you want us to believe that you didn't have no affiliation with your sister and that she can't talk about things about you and your relationship when y'all did have one. She can tell us about you. But for the most part, Samantha has been very, very careful and not defaming Meghan. And, especially in the beginning. No, when Samantha talks about her sister, she talks about what we talk about, how despicable she is, how she's full of shenanigans, how she's about self. No, Meghan didn't know the royal family, so why is she over here talking about them like she know them? But now that Hollywood has found her out and believe that she is full of it, we just talked about it. She's desperate to be noticed. She's desperate for people to like her. She's desperate to become something. And Meghan has all these projects that are failing. Her projects failed. She's a loser in 2024 already. Let's continue to listen to her trash everybody because that's what the Oprah show was.
This is a very different situation than my dad, right? When you talk...
And that's a big point we're going to get to because Samantha was promoting this book. And it was clear Meghan didn't want this book out there.
Her side has written a supposedly tell-all book about you. What is your relationship with her?
I think it'd be very hard to tell all when you don't know me. And I... this is a very different situation than my dad, right? When you talk about...
I hope you guys enjoy this movie, this story. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe and share. Don't forget to share. Share with your friends, okay?
Betrayal comes from someone that you have a relationship with, right? I don't feel comfortable talking about people that I really don't know, but...
she don't feel comfortable talking about people she don't know. Let me let y'all...
But I will.
I grew up as an only child, which everyone who grew up around me knows. And I wished I had siblings. I would have loved to have had siblings. So I'm so excited to be pregnant so that Archie has someone.
You're so excited for Archie to be pregnant so Archie can have someone. But Archie doesn't know his family. Archie doesn't know his real family. He doesn't know where he comes from. Meghan has created this world for her kids in Montecito, in Celebrityville. And they don't know where they come from. Will they ever? She's so excited for Archie to have someone. Wow. So he won't be lonely? Because right now they look like there's a lonely existence. And Harry should be ashamed of himself. Like my sister said, it's Harry. Harry has the control. He has the control to shut this down. But he won't. He won't shut it down. He can't. And that's why I think he's in a cult-like situation state that he can't make decisions. Let's move on.
It was really interesting the last time I saw her must have been at least 18, 19 years ago. And before that.
So she ghosted her sister 18, 20 years ago. That's what she's telling us. That she ghosted because Samantha doesn't come off as a person that would not stop talking to you.
10 years before.
I wonder where she get anyway.
That.
So you all weren't close, you didn't grow up together?
And I wished I had siblings. I would have loved to have had siblings.
You had siblings. You did. You had a brother and you had a sister. And you chose not to be a family with them. You chose to diss them. You chose to kick them out of the dream. Because Samantha's book could have did good if Meghan had said something like this. Well, yes, my sister's come out with a book. I don't know really what it's about, but, I'm not sure, hopefully I look good in it. If not, it is what it is. And we are not, we are sisters and we talk every now and then. First of all, I would have invited her to the wedding. But, so I wouldn't even be like this. This wouldn't be me. I wouldn't even be on no Oprah show. Oprah wouldn't be able to pay me enough to go on national TV. Well, I don't know. But I wouldn't be trashing my family. That's what I would not be doing. But instead of Meghan helping her sister out, knowing that if she helps her sister out, then that money could go into her father's pockets and her brother's pockets too, because she may share a little bit of the money, because Meghan ain't giving you nothing. She ain't giving you $2, okay? She ain't even giving from her charity. If she was, then she wouldn't have $8 million in there. She wouldn't be bragging and telling us, no, there's $8 million in there. What you saving it for? I thought it was supposed to give. I thought the money was in there for her to give to those that were in need. And if she's hogging it and it's all in the bank, and it's been in the bank for 3 years, $8 million, that's telling another story too, that you ain't spending it on nobody.
Pregnant, that Archie has someone. It was really interesting the last time I saw her must have been at least 18, 19 years ago. And before that, 10 years before that.
So you all weren't close, you didn't grow up together?
No.
She doesn't really know you?
No, she changed her last name back to Markle I think she was in her early 50s at that time, only when I started dating Harry.
Ooh. Did she just lie? She said, this is what she just said. She said that she changed her name back in the early 50s. Or maybe she was saying that her name was different. Let's hear that again.
So I think that says 18, 19 years ago. And before that, 10 years before that.
So you all weren't close, you didn't grow up together?
No.
She doesn't really know you?
No, she changed her last name back to Markle I think she was in her early 50s at that time, only when I started dating Harry.
Okay, I'm confused because first she says she changed her name, but then she says in the early 50s. So which was it? Did you change the name in the early 50s or did she change it right after you were dating Harry? I don't understand that. And Yeah. But I do want to say something about this, though. So what she changed her name? And what's the big deal? You want to be the Duchess of Sussex. You dare to have King Charles take that from you. You would have it would be a war if they looked like they wanted to take the Duchess of Sussex. But then she changed her name to the Duchess of Sussex when she got married. But why is it so bad that Samantha changes her name? Like, isn't there enough money and love to go around, Meghan, that it's okay that your sister changes her name if she did, if she didn't, whatever the case may be. But even so, why not? Because she's still your sister. She's still attached to you, whether you want to be attached to her or not, whether you don't want the relationship or not. She's still going to be your half-sister for the rest of your life, even though you ghosted her, threw her out for the trash, called her dead in your life. Because if you don't have a relationship with someone, it's dead. That's a dead relationship, meaning there's no contact, no nothing. And the next time you see that person will be what? When they gone. Because she's killing off people. That's what I mean by her killing off people. But what would have been, why would have been, this video might take 2. I might have to do the other half later. But my question to her, let me just go on, is that why would you deliberately be mean and nasty and not have your sister have a little piece of the dream that you have? Why not allow her to piggyback off of you so she can make some money like her sister, like Catherine's sister did? She became famous for when she was holding her sister's veil, Catherine's veil, as she was finna marry Prince William. And they talked about how beautiful she was at the wedding. And she just got so much accolades and recognition after that wedding. We took notice of Pippa Middleton. We did. We took notice of her. We liked her. She was there for her sister. Da 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 da. But Meghan, look how Meghan treats her sister. Look how she treats the people that love her. Look how Meghan treats the people that love her. Because you can't tell me that Queen Elizabeth didn't open her heart, her home, and everything to Meghan. And then to be turned around and being hurt and mistreated and bullied by Meghan. No, she is being found out. And Americans have found it out. And they have called her the biggest loser of 2024, 23, and 24. But my subscribers, listen to me. What I do know for a fact is that Americans are done with Meghan. And that's unfortunate for her because she needed it. Let's move on.
So I think that says enough.
All right, well, there's a lot to unpack there, Peter.
I may fast forward this part.
One thing you blew my mind is you explained, let's start with that name change because it blew Oprah's mind. And as I watched it, I'll admit, this made Samantha look crazy, right? And so tell us the truth about this. What was the truth about the name change?
Okay, all right. First of all, did you notice?
Okay.
You might want to just play.
We could
Here we go.
debunk you saying that's not true. She didn't only to change the name then. She had changed her name to
Talking about the name
nothing
change.
to do with Prince Harry.
Right, but if you just look at that all by itself, and this is the defense of what they want us to do. They want us to take each statement all by itself and attribute either meaning to it or no meaning, or harm to it or no harm. So how does that hurt someone?
Oh.
So if I were to say that I had a sister and she used her name and she changed it back to her maiden name only when I started dating whoever. How is that harmful? How does that demean her? How does it make Samantha Markle look like a bad person?
And
because the fact is, even if you
let's
say
feed him
false, if you were to say about some creep that he's a wonderful person, how does that hurt? So the way that this hurts is because it was all part of the plan to get the public to believe that Samantha Markle had no knowledge of her sister Meghan. So that, why would anybody buy a book from somebody that doesn't even know the person and is cashing in on this as as a fake,
Yeah. Oh, trust me, the irony of Meghan Markle attempting to call someone a grifter is not lost on me. Trust me. But it's March, because you're right. It's a whole thing that's setting up this credibility of Samantha. And let's now go back further. She was an only child, false. And she never saw her. I was impressed in the court because I didn't know this. Apparently Samantha lived next door at one point or something.
Wow.
There's ample proof that that's a lie. There was many interactions between the two of them throughout her adult life, no?
It was.
Okay, we're going to move on to the next section. Okay, here we go.
On the Netflix documentary, which will lead us into that. But here's now. So after Oprah, she says this stuff about Samantha, which maybe it would have been bad enough, but now she continues to pile
The UK
on.
media, I truly believe, wanted my mom's side of my family to be.
This is a bigger narrative she's been doing, painting her mom as the classy right one and the Markles as the disgusting grifters.
Ones that all this drama could be stirred up with. And suddenly you just have my mom who's classy and quiet and there, and then you have the other side of my family that is just acting differently.
I want to talk about that. She said her side of the family, her mom. She said her mom. She didn't say her mom. I don't. Let's hear it again. I want to be specific.
Ones that all this drama could be stirred up with. And suddenly you just have my mom who's.
Then she got close to Ashley, but then she dumped her.
She dumped Ashley.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get there. I got that next. I want to go to the next.
We're gonna dig into
Netflix
dump
documentary,
because I said it a long time ago. I said she didn't dump Ashley. She used Ashley for her docuseries and then lied on the royals and said that the royal family didn't want Ashley to be there because of what it would look like. Meghan lied to Ashley lied on the royal family to make it seem like it was someone else's fault, the blame, and then try to pretend like she had nothing to do with not inviting Ashley. Ashley should have said, well, you invited Oprah. If Oprah can come, then why couldn't I come? You don't even know Oprah. You don't know Clooney and them, but you couldn't invite one of your family members? Listen to her excuse as to why she didn't invite her family members. She said that they were classless.
Lead us into that. But here's now. So after Oprah, she says this stuff about Samantha, which maybe.
In the way she uses it, she says her family was acting different. No, you were ashamed of your family and you didn't want them to come. Number one, because they were going to be telling the truth about you. And then number two, because you was embarrassed by them.
Enough, but now she continues to pile
The
on.
UK media, I truly believe, wanted my mom's side of my family.
So the UK media is sitting around plotting on Meghan. That's first, she says. They don't care who you invite. They're not sitting around saying, ooh, I hope she invite them. They're going to embarrass her. No, that's her thinking. This is her sociopathic way that she thinks. Because we were looking for the family members. That would have been beautiful. They would have dressed up and put on some nice clothes and came on. But since they wasn't wearing Dior and wearing $1,000 necklaces and rings and stuff, they couldn't come because they didn't have any class. You're the one without the class. You're the one without the class because you didn't invite the people that you so-called are attached to. Listen to this. She says that they were different. No, say it. They weren't classy enough for you. And it wasn't that the royal wasn't classy enough for the royals, idiot. Because I'm sure that they see you as classless. Because for her to even say this kind of stuff makes her look petty. No, they were looking at you and wondering why you wasn't inviting real family members, but you was inviting the new celebrity family members, because that's all Archie and Lilibet know. They don't know nothing else but Oprah and Goddaddy Tyler.
This is a bigger narrative she's been doing, painting her mom as the classy right one and the Markles as
her
the
mom is
disgusting.
classy. Anybody can be classy. Anybody can. Meghan, you can put a dress on your mama and make her look like she's the princess. Anybody can clean up. Anybody can clean up and look good on the outside. It's on the inside that's corroded. Because a real mother would have said, you need to invite your family. My mama would have been pissed at me. The mama y'all saw. She would have said, how you going to not invite your family members? She would have been upset and she would have told me something. Because my mama would have been like, oh, you acting funny now. You don't know us. You don't want us at the wedding. No, Meghan could have got everybody together and explained to them what it was going to be like and what attire and everything, and they would have got ready. No, she said they were acting different. They wasn't acting anyway. They were looking at you trying to figure out why they didn't get an invitation, because now you were getting married. But they probably knew they wasn't going to get one because you probably didn't invite them to the other wedding that you had. No, she didn't want her father to walk her down the aisle because she was embarrassed by him. And Harry says it in one of his books, beer drinking or something like that. I don't know what it was, but she was embarrassed by them. But that's where you come from. You can't be embarrassed by your roots because you can't hide them. You can't push them under the rug. You can't pretend that you didn't come from that. That's what makes you who you are. Your relatives, your family, your father, your mother, your sisters and your siblings. You're like a community of people. Let me move on because I got a lot to say.
All this drama can be stirred up.
She won't take a nap.
And suddenly you just have my mom who's classy and quiet and there, and then
bigger narrative. She's
classy and quiet. I guess the other family was loud and obnoxious. Can't say the word. I guess the other family was too loud for Meghan. They were too loud for you, girl. They were gonna not be dignified and bougie and like you. She told us the truth about how she felt about her family, how she feels about Samantha, her father, and everything. It's in the conversation how despicable this person is. I said, this video is going to be the end of her. Is it? Where's the deals? Where's Dior? Where's the signs? Where's the brands? Where's her money-making machine? Where's her Hollywood comeback? Rebranding. Redemption, a road of redemption. No, you didn't realize that you have talked too much about nasty stuff. And now people don't like you because we see what's inside. Nothing.
As the classy right one and the Markles as the disgusting grifters.
ones that all this drama could be stirred up with. And suddenly you just have my mom who's classy and quiet and there, and then you have the other side.
They were going to stir up some drama. What was they going to do with the wedding? It was only for a few hours, Meghan. You the one stirring up drama by not inviting them. Catherine invited her family because she loves them. Meghan didn't invite them because she doesn't have a connection with anyone. The only thing she connects to is herself. She sits at night planning and plotting what she's going to do next. What's her next parking lot moment? What's her next charity moment? What's her next red carpet moment? What's her next award ceremony moment? That's all we've been seeing. That's it. That's all she has. And then we supposed to love her for those things. We supposed to be like Sussex Squad because you guys need to be ashamed of yourself. The way that you attack her family and both sides. The way you praise her like she's some kind of god, it's disgusting. This is the behavior of a person that treats her family like crap, said that they are different and full of drama and they ain't classy enough. Like we were going to understand that. Like Americans was going to be like, because she think we can relate to her. She thinks people can relate to her. That's a kicker too. No one can relate to you. Not kids, not teenagers, not adults, and not older people. No one can relate to what she has to say because she's just talking to herself and thinking that we're going to feel sorry for her because her family is classless, different, full of drama. And so you just invited your mom because she's the classy one. She's going to be on her best behavior. No, what your mama should have told you was, I ain't going if you don't invite these other people. That's how you do it. You stop indulging this thing. Let's move on. I got my husband's phone.
My family that is just acting differently.
Acting differently.
My half-sister I hadn't seen for over a decade, and that was only for a day and a half. Suddenly, it felt like she...
Then, when she did see her, look how she degrades the meeting. Oh, when I did see my sister, it was only a day and a half. Why is that important that when you did see her, it was only for a few minutes? But you did see her. No, she has to continue that negative downtone to say how bad her sister was and how they didn't have a relationship. You don't have to have a big, deep, wholesome relationship to someone to say that you're related to that person. I have a lot of cousins. Oh my God, it's hundreds of us. We have a big, huge family. But just because I don't talk to them on a daily basis doesn't mean that we don't still have a connection.
It was everywhere. I don't know your middle name. I don't know your birthday. You're telling these people that you...
So, I don't know a lot of people's birthdays and middle names. You don't need to know all that to be nice, Meghan, to be friendly, to be kind, to treat people with respect. No. So just because you don't know those things that makes her not connected to you, she's still connected to you regardless if you know her middle name or her birthday. Regardless, you chose that. Samantha didn't choose you to treat her this way. You chose to treat her with, you don't know who she is and I don't know her middle name. Well, if you didn't know it, then why didn't you just find out? No, because you do know. You're just telling us this lie that you didn't have a relationship with her. And then when she steps on the scene, because she should have, because she's your sister, why would you keep her hidden in a bunker? No, because you're embarrassed by her and you don't want people to know that that's your sister and you have affiliations with her. That's why she's coming for you next year. We're talking to her lawyer right now. Just so you guys know, we're on Popcorn Planet. He's doing a really good job, on this. He's got some more videos coming out. You guys should check it out.
You raised me and you coined me Princess Pushy?
Oh, you raised me and you call me pushy princess.
It felt like she was everywhere.
Everywhere.
I don't know your middle name.
She's everywhere. How do you know she's everywhere? Why are you saying that she's everywhere? I know why. Because you're looking at the media. I believe she's watching this show. I do. I believe Meghan wants to know what people say and think about her. I really do. And even if she does find out what we think and feel about her, it's not like she's going to change after she realizes that even if she reads or listens to Popcorn Planet or whatever, she still is not changing. She doesn't see, she's in denial about every criticism that she gets. Instead of listening and understanding that, it could be me and maybe I need to change, she's in this denial state because she's the Duchess of Sussex.
I don't know your birthday. You're telling these people that you raised me and you coined me Princess Pushy?
Thoughts so far? I mean, because it's interesting. She, again, and Oprah says, I don't like to talk about people I don't know, but now Meghan's choosing to once again, without even being asked, she produced this documentary, now again present more against Samantha.
Yeah, but she's not the one that came up with the name Princess Pushy. That was the press that did.
So according to Meghan's lawyer, it wasn't her that called her Princess Pushy. It was Meghan that said she was Princess Pushy. Now, I don't know.
That. And Samantha wrote a book about the sister of Princess Pushy, basically to kind of almost ridicule the fact that they make these names for people. So it wasn't that she coined that name. That's another false statement that she made. So
the book, let me not go, no guys, the book that she wrote wasn't a derogatory book towards Meghan. I haven't heard it. If it is, then I might have some different thoughts. Because to my understanding that she wrote a book, but it was about her and maybe a little bit about Meghan. But did Samantha, I'm sure she didn't talk about Princess Pushy. You know why? And she, according to the lawyer, that was just being used and people were calling her that and she was referencing that. But I just want to know, did Samantha attack Meghan like Meghan has been attacking the royal family? In Spare, in Endgame, talking about who the royal racist is. Meghan planned to do that. She wanted us to know that it was Catherine, and she wanted us to know that. Because if she didn't want us to know, we wouldn't know. We would not know. She would have told Obi Scobie not to put that in a book. And I know I switched it to put it in a book, but she did. I don't know who keeps calling me. Let's go.
But again, good to know. But she also is. Why is she continuing to talk about and defame her sister if she doesn't know her? It's very strange. It does feel like she's trying to get an agenda out. Here's further from that piece.
When you read a book.
Yeah, exactly. Discredit her so that people don't want to read Samantha's book.
That's 17 years older than her. And Meghan and I left when she was 2.
I don't remember.
This is weird. Meghan and I left when I was 2, but I know we have so much footage.
Meghan and her mother left when she was 2 years old. And so Meghan has her mom on this docuseries, co-signing. And instead of her mother being the peacemaker and trying to say, well, Meghan, I don't feel comfortable with talking about Samantha. No, it sounds like that Doria didn't like Samantha and any of them either. But that's your husband. That's Meghan's father. But then you're going to get on the docuseries and talk bad about Samantha too, because your daughter asked you to. It's despicable that you go around trashing people and then use others to help you, like Bozy and all of them, talking about racism and colonialism and how bad Meghan had it as if they was over there with her. No, you wasn't saying that, Doria, when you was sitting up in that church looking like, the Lone Ranger, because you didn't have nobody to talk to. I would have been like, Meghan, you need to invite your father. You need to invite him. He needs to be here for your big day. No, her mother is worse than her. Her mother is their tit for tat. They're tit for tat. My mom would not put up with my behavior. She wouldn't. Even at 50 something, 51, my mom would not put up with my behavior.
Footage of with Meghan with her father. I want to talk about that relationship too, because I know you know that, so we'll come back to that. But it's odd how they're painting this. Oh, her father's kids were never in the picture, which I know that's false.
First seeing her when I was a kid at my dad's house, if and when they would come around. And then the last time that I saw her that I remember is when I was in my early 20s. I hadn't had her fallout with her. We didn't have a closeness to be able to have.
Okay, so they didn't have a fallout. But I don't think closeness has anything to do with having a fallout. So if you didn't have a fallout with her, then why did you treat her with such little respect? Even if you didn't know her, why would you mistreat her the way you are mistreating her now? Why would you talk about her on the Oprah show in the docuseries and then bring her daughter on there and use her for a moment to let everybody know that her daughter don't have a relationship with her? No. I want to go back to what I previously said, but I forgot.
And I wanted a sister. And then the last time that I saw her that I remember is when I was in my early 20s. I hadn't had her fallout with her. We didn't have it.
She didn't have a fallout with her because they didn't have a close relationship. So why would you just be automatically mean to her if you didn't have just say for instance, like, okay, so I got a cousin or a sister and me and my sister, we don't have a relationship. But that doesn't mean I'm going to mistreat her. I just know I have a half sister and that first of all, they had a relationship. That's that stupid stuff. But then as she's trying to explain it to us and instill into us that they didn't have a good relationship, Meghan is lying. Because even if you didn't have a good relationship with her, then why trash her? Why treat her like crap? Why put her on blast for no other reason for the Sussex squad to go after her? Because you knew they was coming. Because you wanted them to come. You don't say negative things unless you want that person to have negative feedback. So when Meghan goes on TV with her princess stuff, with her Duchess of Sussexness, people are looking like, wow, her sister was evil and mean and in the way and all this other stuff because Meghan puts the tone out there. She set the tone for her sister to be trashed. Meghan set the tone for her sister to be trashed. There we go.
A closeness to be able to have that. And I wanted a sister.
She wanted a sister.
So,
You had a sister. Sorry about that. I took a small little break. Got a piece of cheese. I love cheese. I like those sorcery boards. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it. But I posted a pizza of me and my daughter making pizza. And the dough didn't turn out right. I think I had it too thin. And she was like, ooh, yucky. And so she wouldn't eat it. But I'm trying to perfect the dough. If I can perfect the dough and making pizza, I'll make it a lot more, because my husband's mother bought me this stone to put in the oven. And it's really cool, you know, and I was just so happy when she bought it for me. She used to buy me so many great gifts. She would buy me a vacuum cleaner, like when we bought my house, and, you know, this big ice cream machine maker. I mean, just different things. She didn't know what to buy me, but I loved every gift that she would do. Anyway, just a little bit about my mother-in-law. I miss her.
Anything to add?
You know, when you know the truth and you watch this woman, you know, and
Let's speed 'em up.
I mean, she's just making that up. You know, I mean, it's not like she's going into her memory banks and thinking about how there was an occasion where she was asked, did you want a sister? Or, I mean, who in the world is, I mean, was there a time when she was a child that she was itching for a sister? I mean, it just doesn't even make any sense. She'll just say anything.
It feels very performative, I'll say that. And all the stuff she's doing, there's a lot of acting, it feels, and overly emotional looking, and you know, it's very performative.
Oh, yeah.
It is. And it's,
She's
and
acting
it's
all the
nonsense.
time.
It's all to drive the point home that she didn't actually have a sister. But, you know, when, you know, if she wanted a sister, when did she want that sister? Who did she mention it to? Why
Good
does she have a
question.
memory of that?
He said, I always wanted a sister. And he's like, well, when? When did you want a sister? And if you wanted one so bad, then why didn't you connect with the one that the half one you had? If you always wanted one. That's a good question, because Meghan is full of stuff. She talked too much, and she ended up telling off on herself and letting us see who she really is inside. And for her to treat her sister like a piece of gum on a pavement, because that's how she talks about her. She talks about Samantha like she's nothing. She doesn't have not one good thing to say about Samantha. And so my thought was, if you don't have anything good to say at all, then then stop talking about it. But you didn't, like Popcorn Planet Gentleman said. He said, you didn't want to talk about it, but you did talk about it, and you're talking about it now. And then you bring Ashley on there. The reason why she brought Ashley on there was to show us the reason why she doesn't hang out with that other side of the family, and she's the only one because she's the classiest. But Ashley has been ghosted.
It isn't a memory. It's just
Meghan,
she's making it up.
Evil.
And as she does almost everything.
Absolutely. And now here's where things take an interesting turn. And now Samantha's own daughter is brought in, who now suddenly Meghan wants a relationship with.
I just remember my dad saying to me, Samantha found her daughter.
Okay.
She did track of her.
I'm sorry
You
it's so
following
long.
through relatives. You found this out. And now,
Okay, guys, it's getting too long. I'm going to shut this one down. I'm coming right back. We're going to continue with the Popcorn Planet. His video was 19 minutes long, and I did that other video in the beginning. So let's shut this down and start over. Kisses. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. And really look at this one, because this, to me, talks about her character and why, when the Sussex Squad comes out there and start asking me questions and what she's done to me, and I'm being rude and mean to her, this is the feedback. This is the Meghan Show. See you in a sec.